You ever read something and it just flows? Like there's some kind of music hidden in the words themselves? Well, you're not imagining it. There is. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and learn how to read that music. Let's kick things off with a line you've probably heard a million times. Okay, here it is, from Shakespeare himself. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Just say it out loud for a second. Can you feel that? That little pulse, that dead-dumb beat? Yeah, that's not a coincidence. That's a choice. It's by design. So, that's the big question, isn't it? What's the secret sauce? What gives these words that incredible rhythm that makes them stick in our heads for, 400 years? How do writers and speakers actually do that?
Well, the answer has a name. It's the key to understanding the entire blueprint behind the music of our language.
It's a field called prosody, and the name itself is a huge clue. It comes from an ancient Greek phrase that basically means a song sung with music. I mean, how perfect is that? Prosody is literally the study of how to hear the song inside the words. So if we're going to talk about music, we have to start with the absolute basics, right? We need to find the individual notes, and we need to find the beat. In language, those two things come from syllables and stress. All right, first up, the syllable. This is our single individual note. All it is one unbroken vowel sound in a word. So you take a word like beautiful. You can hear those three separate notes, right? Beautiful. Those are our building blocks. But here's the thing. Not all those notes get played at the same volume. Some syllables are louder, more forceful. We call those stressed. And the others are softer, they're quieter. Those are unstressed. It's this back and forth between the loud and the soft that actually creates the beat. And we actually have little symbols for this. A little curved line for an unstressed syllable, and a little slash for a stressed one. Just take the word compare. You wouldn't say compare, would you? It just sounds off. You say compare. That little punch on the second part, that's the stress. That's the beat. So how do you know where the stress is supposed to go? Well, here's a pretty good rule of thumb. The words that carry the real meaning, the nouns, the verbs, the juicy adjectives, they usually get the stress. And all those little connector words like a, the, in, or and, they're usually unstressed. They're the quiet little taps that just keep everything flowing. Okay, so we've got our notes, our stressed and unstressed syllables. The next logical step is to see how they group together into patterns. In music, you'd call these measures. In poetry, we call them feet. Let's start with the most common ones you're going to hear all the time in English. They're usually made up of just two syllables. It's pretty straightforward. First up is the king, the I am. This is basically the natural heartbeat of the English language. It's a soft beat, then a hard one. Dum. Unstressed, then stressed. Think about words like because, today, or alive. It just feels like it's rising, moving forward. And then we have its total opposite, the trochee. This one flips the pattern. It starts strong, and then it fades. Dum, duh. Stressed, then unstressed. You hear this in words like highway, never, or poet. It feels a little more forceful, a little more punchy, doesn't it? But hey, it's not always just about two beats. Rhythms can get way more complex. We also have these really common patterns made of three syllables, and these create totally different moods. For example, the anapest. This is two soft beats followed by a hard one, da-da-dum. It's got this awesome galloping rhythm to it. Like in the classic line, "'Twas the night before Christmas." It just kind of rolls along and builds up steam. And then, you guessed it, the reverse is the dactyl. One hard beat, then two soft ones. Dum-da-da. This one feels a little more formal, almost grand. It's the rhythm of old epics, but you also hear it in everyday words like poetry or beautiful. All right, so we have our notes, the syllables, and we have our measures, the feet. Now it's time to zoom out and put it all together to look at an entire line of poetry. This is where we talk about meter. Now, meter sounds all academic and complicated, but it's really not. It's literally just counting. All you do is count how many feet, those patterns we just talked about, are in a single line. If you count 2 feet, it's diameter. 3 is trimeter. 4, tetrameter. And 5, well, that's the big one, pentameter. So, are you ready for the payoff? This is the moment where all these little pieces we've been talking about, syllables, stress, feet, meter, they all click into place. Let's go all the way back to that Shakespeare line and see the blueprint in action. Let's scan it together. Shall I dum compare dum thee to
da-dum, a summer's da-dum, day. Wow, did you see that? It's the exact same pattern 5 times in a row. It's flawless.
So let's put it all together. What was that da-dum pattern called? That was the I am. And how many of them did we count in the line? 5. So what does that give us? Iambic pentameter. That's the secret. That is the musical code that Shakespeare used to make that line absolutely timeless. Okay, but who cares, right? Why does any of this matter unless you have a paper due for English class? Well, because this stuff isn't just locked away in some dusty old book. This musical blueprint is absolutely everywhere. Seriously, once you start listening for it, you can't unhear it. You'll suddenly get why a certain advertising jingle is so ridiculously catchy. You'll understand why a line in a movie just gives you chills. You'll hear it in political speeches and pop songs. It's like you've unlocked the secret language for why words make us feel things. So now that you know the blueprint, my question for you is, what music are you going to start hearing? In the songs you love, the shows you watch, even just in everyday conversations. Just listen. It's there, waiting for you.